What's up fans, Anis here from All Clouded, and today we've got an interesting little follow with us, the Vape Nut. So first I'd like to do a shout out to HB Vapour for providing us with this vape nut so we could dive down, take a look. It's quite an interesting little product. So basically, if you haven't heard of it, it's designed to take the vape out of the air and pull out fresh air. It just filters all the vape that's around us. So this is the box right here, the Vape Nut from Avatar. And here's the back of the box. Take a pause if you want to read through some of the stats. Probably the main thing you want to look at is this indicator right here. This is it for power mode. So the green's the auto, yellow's low, and then the dark red, that is full power mode. So it's basically got a sensor up in the middle of it. I'll show you guys when we get down, and basically it'll just detect the density of the vape that's in the air. So green being low density, and the colors go right up to red, and that's when she is thick as clouds. Now another thing you might want to look at is right here. Now this is a 10 cubic meter size fan, so basically it's just a measurement that a lot of the fans use, extractor fans, normal fans, all that type of stuff. So it's basically showing you the size of the fan, and I'll show you up and close when we get down to the product. So in the box you're going to receive your power source. It will be plugged into extension lead or a plug point. We also got one for the car. This plugs into your cigarette lighter point. I thought this was quite interesting and I definitely had to go give it a go. And last but not least, the vape nut. So this is how big it is. Overall shape device right here. This is the indicator for the sensor. So this is going to change the different colors depending on the density. The air is going to come through, it's going to hit a filter, and the fresh air is going to come up the side, and then your power source plugs right in the back. Just like this button right here, this is how you'll change it to your different mode settings. So this is it off, and it takes a few seconds to warm up, 10 or so seconds. Turn it on. Now this is going to be an auto, so it's going to work by sensing the vape that's in the air. Low, medium, and that's full steam. And to demonstrate the sensor, this is how she'll work. Now to dive down, take a look inside, and to change the filters that you have to change, they rate it at somewhere about 3 months. Now it depends on what type of heavy user you are. I've been using this for a couple weeks and it's still chugging along fine, so it's definitely longer than a couple weeks. To get this thing off, all you got to do is pull this cap right here. She comes straight off. Now looking at this is where your light is. And then this is going to be your sensor right here. It's going to come through and make its connection to this top lip right here. So when you put it on, just make sure those align. I'm pretty sure that it doesn't fit if you put it on wrong anyway. So you got to make that connection in order for it to work. Now this is the filter that sits inside. The air is going to pass through, it's going to hit the filter, and then fresh air is going to come out. Now you get this one that's installed in the unit, and you also get an extra one in the box, but then you can also pick up more from HB Vapour. Now this is the fan inside. So this is the 10 cubic meter rated fan. So taking a look at the fan from the vent points, I can see that it sits just about this rim. That's about the size of the fan that's inside. So there's the vent slots where the fresh air comes out. So to see how this unit works, I've got it in sensor mode. It's lit up by the green, and I'm just going to use the T18 and we'll see how well she picks it up. The sensor's reading it as a low concentrated or low density amount of vape, which is pretty much perfect for this little T18. So now I'll use it in power mode and I'll put it in its low setting. And now I'll put it in its medium setting. And now finally in power mode, I'll put it at its highest setting. But what about for all you sub-ohmers out there? So like with the T18, I started in sensor mode. Now in sensor mode, it's reading it as a medium density vape. So we'll try it in power mode. So you can definitely see that in the lowest mode, there's still vape escaping around it. So let's bump it up. Now that's a hell of a lot better than level 1, but we're definitely going to have to bump it up to level 3. Now once you're using sub-ohm or clouding devices, you definitely want to be running it on level 3 in the power mode on full red all round, because it's the only way that this device can really keep up. So what did I do to test it? 4 ways that I had to play around with this device. So first I started vaping with it a few meters away from me, so just sitting on my coffee table. I put it down, I put it in sensor mode, and for sub-ohming and beat clouds and that, it didn't have enough oomph to just suck in all the vape. Now we've got to remember that this is only a small fan in the device. I mean, really look at it. Now this thing is actually tiny. It's really just that little circle in there. So in order to appreciate this device for what it's made for, it's best sitting as close to you as possible. So second, I tried it with it on my lap. Now sitting on my lap, it worked a hell of a lot better. It's definitely like within its limits, being close to you. So if you are going to sub-ohm with this device inside your house, I definitely suggest you put it as close to you as possible. Now it's not a miracle machine. If it was, it definitely would be a hell of a lot more expensive than $100 odd. Now on HB Vapour, I think it was $150. It might be $145 at the moment. They got a special on it, so you should definitely keep your eyes out and check it out. And also, if you're interested in the product, you want to check out how much the filters are, because you're going to be replacing them over time. Now third, I tested it while hotboxing my car. I sat in my car, I had my RTA on me, and I pretty much sunk about 10 ml of juice sitting in the car, hotboxed it out till I couldn't really see a thing, and I just plugged it in with the car charger that goes into the cigarette lighter slot, and then just let it do its thing. Now I left it in sensor mode. Now when it was in sensor mode, it only went up to level 2, so I really wanted at level 3 to just speed up the process, and I've done a fairly good job. Now I mean, obviously if you're in some type of situation where you were hotboxing a car or whatever, if you wanted to get rid of the vape as quickly as you can, you just wind down all windows and it does it in a few seconds, whereas this device took probably about 5 minutes, to the point where I would be able to drive. But I mean, you might be in some type of situation where there's snow or rain or a hurricane or something and you can't wind down all the windows, so it's just something to think about. But I thought, wait, why not give it a try? Now last, I tested it while driving. Now this is probably the most extreme example of testing a product. I turned it on, I put it on the passenger seat next to me, I started just chugging away on clouds and that. My goal was to get through 10 ml of juice in my RTA and see how it could cope. Now I was a bit nervous about doing it because I was driving it around, and I probably suggest that other people don't do it, but I had to give it a shot. I was just surprised it actually made it so I could see. I had all the windows up, I was vaping away, and I basically kept going around the block over and over again till I emptied my 5 ml tank, pulled over, filled it up more, done it again till I emptied it, and I could see. It was obviously a bit cloudy, but it wasn't fully hotboxed out. Now you can imagine dumping 10 ml of juice while driving around in the car, you would not be able to see shit. But I actually could. That's what really surprised me about this product, that it done what it was supposed to do. Now jumping on YouTube, I saw a few reviews on it, not many out there. Someone like Mike Vapes and those type of characters, they done reviews on it. Now, I went through the comment section because I wanted to see what other people were thinking about this product, and I mean, the amount of hate on it was just unbelievable. Now, people are fairly ignorant. They sit there and think that you can just plug this in the corner of your lounge room 5 meters away from you and expect that it's just going to empty the whole room. Now, there is nothing that is this size that could empty a whole house. Now, I mean, really appreciate it for what it's worth. It's a 10 cubic meter device. Now, if you want something with a bit more grunt, buy a giant house fan, open up the windows, blow it all out. But I mean, really, the way to use this device is for mainly someone that can't really vape inside. Now, I'd say just put it on your lap, put it right next to you, sit at the table. Maybe you've got kids in the house and you don't want to vape around your kids in there. You don't want them inhaling the vape. So what I'd suggest is you just sit at a table, or you find somewhere where you don't have to go out in the rain and in the cold. We're coming up to winter, fam. And just turn it on max. Just turn the thing on max and then just vape directly into it. Now that's where I think this product will shine. And for those that think that this little device could clear out a whole house and they're like, oh my god, false advertising, blah 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 blah, then what you really need to do is you need to get yourself an extraction fan, because that's the only thing that's really going to empty a whole house from a massive cloud. So go down to your Bunnings and get yourself one of these big suckers. Now this thing is about 5 times more powerful, and this will clear your lounge room easily. Now, do you really want something like this hanging around? So comparing the Vape Nut to an extraction fan like that, you're really comparing apples and oranges. You just need to use this device for what it's designed for. Now, it is designed to be a vape eliminator. Put it right close to you if you have friends and family around, or people that are a bit sensitive to vaping, or they don't like the smell in that, and you want to be polite to them, then pure and simply set this up right next to you, on your lap, on the table next to you, and just vape directly into it. Now, this is the easy way that you can just dodge going outside in the rain and in the cold, and I think this device really shines in those environments. Now, a few things to think about with this device. So the way you remove the cap when you replace the filter inside, be very gentle of this, because when you pull this off, these little fins at the top, you do not want them breaking, because if you plug it in and this isn't connected, she's not going to work. So it's just something to think about. Now, this does feel pretty sturdy. It doesn't look like it's going to snap anytime soon, but you do not want your kids jumping around with it, throwing it around. You know, it's like any electronic device. You've really got to look after it. And also, if you're running it in sensor mode. Now, personally, I'm a bit impatient. I just dodge the whole sensor mode, man. I just put it straight on full blow. I'll have a vape, get it done, and then turn it off, and she's perfectly fine. But the sensor mode does work. You guys seen it. It does work, but I would prefer it just in full level 3, the full max mode. Just go raw power, and it's just really going to do its job, but the way that it's designed to do it. Now, one last thing is looking at the filters. So when you know it needs to be changed, you're going to notice that when you're vaping directly to the unit, you're going to see that a bit of vape's escaping actually out of the vent holes, and that's just the filter is really going past its length. So it's still going to filter, but just not as greatly as a brand new filter. So this is basically a brand new filter, shiny white, good as days. This is a filter that's been well used. Now, it was still filtering while I was vaping into it, but it's just not going to be as efficient as a brand new one, of course. So when it starts getting to this darkish color, then she's definitely good to replace. Probably should get onto it ASAP if you are conscious about vape going around in your house and stuff. So I'll show you what it's like to vape through a filter that really needs to be changed. Now, I don't know how well that was picking it up on camera, but I could definitely see that vape was escaping. Now, it wasn't as thick as the clouds that I was blowing, but it's still very noticeable. So when it gets that dark tinge, it still has a bit of life in it. You should probably look at changing the filter, and then she's good to go. So that was the Vape Nut from Avatar. Now, if it's something you're interested in, just jump on HB Vapour. I'll put links down in the description. Shout out to the crew there for hooking it up for this review today. So don't forget, fam, like, comment, share, subscribe. And like always, keep it cloudy, fam.